I always believed I knew my wife. That's the lie that started everything. Maya and I had been together for 9 years. Not dramatic years, quiet ones. The kind built on routines, shared jokes, and the comfort of knowing how the other takes their coffee. I trusted her in the boring way, without effort, without questions. That trust cracked on a Tuesday afternoon. I was stopped at a red light when I saw her car turn the corner ahead of me. My first thought was relief. I hadn't seen her all day. My second thought came a second later, cold and sharp. She had told me she was out of town. I followed her before my brain could argue. I kept telling myself there was an explanation. There's always an explanation when you love someone. My chest felt tight, like I was doing something wrong just by watching. She parked in front of an old building. No signs, no people. She walked in like she belonged there. I waited in my car, staring at my hands, feeling ridiculous. Then a man walked out 20 minutes later. Ordinary, forgettable. Before leaving, he looked up and smiled at a window. That smile stayed with me all night. At home, Maya was normal. Too normal. She talked about work, laughed, leaned her head on my shoulder. I felt like I was watching my life from the outside. I didn't confront her. I wanted to understand before I destroyed everything. The days that followed turned me into someone I didn't recognize. I paid attention to small details, time gaps, careful answers. She didn't seem nervous. She seemed prepared, and that scared me more than guilt ever could. I felt stupid for staying quiet. I also felt terrified of being right. A week later, I went back to the building alone. I told myself I was proving I was wrong. On the third floor, I saw a metal plaque, Municipal Archives, restricted access. I stood there longer than I should have. That night, Maya cried in my arms, said work was heavy, that she hated keeping things inside. When I hugged her, my hand touched something in her pocket, a badge. I didn't ask. My silence was starting to feel like betrayal of myself. The next morning, I followed her again. I followed the man too. In a cafe, I heard him say, if he finds out before the date, everything collapses. Date of what? That night, my hands shook as I opened her locked drawer. Inside were documents, reports, and photos of me, my childhood, my school, the hospital where my mother died. At the bottom, a file with my name and one sentence highlighted. Subject emotionally stable. Final phase approved. I felt hollow, like my memories had been borrowed. The next morning, Maya didn't leave for work. She sat across from me, calm in a way that hurt. I know you found out, she said. I asked the only question that mattered. Who are you? What she told me broke something permanent inside me. There was no affair. The man was her colleague. She wasn't in marketing. She was part of a long-term behavioral study. Quiet, legal, hidden. I had been selected as a child. My life nudged, shaped, observed. Meeting her wasn't chance. Our marriage was a variable. I fell in love with you, she said. That wasn't supposed to happen. I didn't feel anger. I felt erased. She placed a one-way ticket on the table. Today was the end. She would disappear. The study would close. I tore the ticket in half. Before she could speak, the doorbell rang. 2 men stood outside. One held a badge identical to hers. Daniel, one said gently, you passed. Your choice confirmed everything. I closed the door and realized my life had never been mine.